moments in our life.
U našim životima svi imamo takve ključne momente.
Moments that are like crossroads.
Trenuci koji su raskršća.
If you take one road or one way or the other one,
ako kreneš na jednu ili drugu stranu,
you may end up in totally different destinations.
završit ćeš na potpuno različitim destinacijama.
And here we find the first key moment in Jacob's life.
I ovdje u ovom tekstu nalazimo prvi takav moment u Jakovljevom životu.
That night when he was sleeping at Bethel,
Te noći kada je spavao kod Betela,
he experienced the first key moment.
iskusio je taj prvi ključni moment.
He was very young,
Bio je veoma mlad.
about 17, no more than 18 years old.
Imao je 17, ne više od 18 godina.
And he was escaping from his brother. He was fleeing.
I bežao je od svoga brata.
The second key moment, Peniel, in Genesis 32,
Drugi takav moment je u Penijelu, i to čitamo u Postanku 32. glava.
is exactly the opposite to Bethel.
I to je u potpunosti drugačije od onoga što imamo u Betelu.
In Bethel, Jacob was escaping from his brother.
U Betelu Jakov beži od svoga brata.
He was departing his home, his family,
Odvaja se od svoje porodice, od kuće.
in a sudden, unexpected way. From morning to night he had to leave to save his life.
I to na neočekivan način on je morao da beži da bi spasio svoj život.
And in Peniel, it was exactly the opposite. He entered his land again.
A u Penuelu je to čista suprotno, zato što se on ponovo vraća u svoju zemlju.
He was coming back.
Vraćao se nazad.
He was going to encounter his brother.
I tu je sada trebao da se susretne sa svojim bratom.
You see the contrast?
I vidite taj kontrast.
In Bethel, he was escaping
U Betelu on beži
from his brother.
od svog brata.
In Peniel, he was going to encounter his brother.
Kod Penuela on se sada ide da bi se susreo sa bratom.
In Bethel, he departs his land and his family.
U Betelu napušta svoju porodicu i zemlju.
In Peniel, he goes back.
U Penuelu on se vraća.
In Peniel, Jacob was in his maturity.
U Penuelu Jakov je već bio odrastao, zreo čovjek.
He was a totally different man,
I bio je potpuno drugačija osoba,
a transformed person.
promenjena osoba.
He had learned from the hard knocks of life,
Naučio je iz tih teških trenutaka u životu.
a desert period in his life.
Možemo to nazvati period pustinje u njegovom životu.
Today we will concentrate on the first key moment, Bethel.
Danas ćemo se fokusirati na prvi ključni trenutak u njegovom životu, taj susret kod Betela.
So let's focus our attention on Jacob, the man, and then secondly on God.
Fokusirat ćemo se prvo na Jakova kao čoveka, a nakon toga i na Boga.
First of all, Jacob,
Prvo Jakov,
a broken man from a broken family.
slomljen čovjek iz slomljene porodice.
Jacob had everything at his home.
Kod kuće Jakov imao sve.
He was actually spoiled by his mother.
Njegova majka ga je čak i razmazila.
But it was what today we would call a dysfunctional family.
I njihova porodica nazvali bi je, to je bilo ono što bi danas nazvali disfunkcionalna porodica.
It was not a very healthy family.
To nije bila previše zdrava porodica.
Do you remember the mistake the parents did? Isaac and the wife of Isaac? What were the mistakes they did?
Sećate se koje su greške Isak i njegova supruga činili? Da li znate koje su greške bile?
One was the favorite of the mother.
Jedna je ta da je majka imala svog favorita ili miljenika.
And the other one was the favorite of the father.
A sa druge strane otac imao svog miljenika.
Do you remember that story?
Da li se sećamo te priče?
That's the best way to spoil the upbringing of your children.
I to je najbolji način kako da pogrešimo u vaspitanju svoje dece.
Rebecca had very good intentions,
Rebeka je imala veoma dobre namere,
but she did very wrongly.
ali je to radila na pogrešan način.
And the same happened with her husband.
A sa njenim suprugom je bilo isti problem.
And yet, God uses broken families, unhealthy families, to fulfill His purposes.
Ali Bog koristi slomljene, da kažemo nezdrave porodice da ispuni svoju svrhu.
We don't find any family in the Bible used by God
U Bibliji nećemo naći ni jednu porodicu koju Bog iskoristio,
that we could consider a perfect family.
za koju bi mogli da kažemo ovo je savršena porodica.
All the families we see in the Bible had their blind spots, their faults.
Kada pogledamo porodice u Bibliji, kod svake porodice možemo da vidimo i njihove mane.
You remember David?
Sjećate se Davida?
David was an excellent man in almost everything he did.
David je bio savršen u skoro svemu što je radio.
He was a great poet.
Bio je dobar pesnik,
He was a good musician.
dobar muzičar,
He was an extraordinary soldier.
veoma dobar ratnik,
He was the best king of Israel.
najbolji izraelski kralj.
He was a faithful friend to Jonathan.
Bio je veoma veran Jonatanov prijatelj.
Everything he did it superbly, extremely well.
I sve što je radio je to veoma dobro.
Except
Osim
his family life.
porodičnog života.
He was a total failure in his family life.
Što se tiče porodičnog života, bio je potpuni promašaj.
Do you know the story?
I znamo tu priču.
Absalom, his son,
Apsolom, njegov sin,
came to the point that he wanted to kill his father.
došao je do tog trenutka da je on želeo da ubije svog oca.
Probably this is the worst experience a father can have with a son.
I ovo je verovatno najgore iskustvo koje otac može da ima sa svojim sinom.
When your own son wants to kill you.
Kada tvoj sopstveni sin želi da te ubije.
Broken families are used by God.
Bog koristi slomljene porodice.
And that very night in Bethel, Jacob escaped from a broken family.
I te noći u Betelu Jakov beži iz slomljene porodice.
Just a quick question for personal reflection.
Jedno kratko pitanje o kome treba razmisliti.
What sort of family do I come from?
Iz kakve porodice ti i ja dolazimo?
If you come from a healthy, stable family, praise God for this and thank Him.
Ako dolaziš iz zdrave i čvrste, solidne porodice, zahvali Bogu na tome.
If you come from a problematic, broken family,
Ako dolaziš iz problematične, slomljene porodice,
be sure that God can use you,
budi siguran da Bog može da te koristi.
not in a spite of it, not
Ne.
in a spite of this fact,
Ne zbog te činjenice da dolaziš iz slomljene porodice,
but through it.
već kroz to.
Because God chooses jars of clay
Zato što Bog koristi glinene posude,
so that all the excellency may be attributed to Christ.
da bi svako savršenstvo i ono dobro bilo zbog Hrista, ne zbog nas.
God's power is made perfect in our weakness.
Božja sila je savršena u našoj slabosti.
How was Jacob that night when he went to sleep having a stone as a pillow?
Kako je bilo Jakovu te noći kada je legao da spava i pod glavu stavlja jastuk od kamena?
Now, for some minutes, let's have a psychological portrait of this man.
Na par minuta hajde da napravimo psihološki portret Jakova.
I would suggest that there are three features in his mind, in his framework that night.
I ja ću predložiti da imamo 3 stvari koje se vrte u njegovom umu te večeri.
First of all, Jacob was full of grieving.
Prva stvar da je Jakov bio pun žalosti, on je žalio.
He was very sad.
Bio je veoma tužan.
basically because of he had lost a lot of things with his departure.
Bio je tužan jer je svojim odlaskom izgubio mnogo stvari.
Losses, a catalog of losses were on his mind and his heart.
U njegovom umu i srcu bili su gubici i to je brdo ili nebrojeni broj gubitaka koje je doživeo.
He had lost everything actually.
On je u suštini izgubio sve.
What was his baggage that night? His baggage. What was his
Šta je
baggage?
te noći on imao u svom koferu?
Almost nothing.
Skoro ništa.
Nothing.
Ništa.
He had to leave everything in his home.
Sve je morao da ostavi kod kuće.
But above all, there was a loss. He really grieved his heart very much.
Tu je bio i gubitak i on je veoma žalio zbog tog gubitka.
His mother.
Jer je ostavio majku.
Separation from his mother was terribly painful for Jacob.
Za njega je bilo bolno to što je morao da ostavi svoju majku.
Remember, he was a teenager, late teenager, 18 years old more or less.
Nemojmo da zaboravimo da je on još uvijek bio tinejdžer, znači imao je možda nekih 17-18 godina.
Jacob was very much linked to his mother.
I Jakov je bio veoma povezan sa majkom.
He was a man who was very fond to be at home.
On je bio čovjek koji je navikao da bude kod kuće.
He was rather introvert,
Bio je introvertan,
gentle, sensitive.
nežan, osjetljiv.
He had a tender heart,
Imao je nežno srce.
exactly the opposite from his brother Esau,
U potpunosti drugačiji od Ezava, njegovog brata,
who was the hunter,
koji je bio lovac,
the big male.
pravo muško, što bi rekli.
Jacob probably had never gone out very far away from the tents where they lived. He did not travel.
A Jakov najverovatnije nije se nikad udaljio previše od šatora u kojima su živeli.
Now all of a sudden he has to leave everything and above all the safety from his mother.
A sada mora sve da ostavi i najviše od svega što ostavlja sigurnost koju ima kod majke.
Bereavement, loss.
I on sada žali za gubitkom.
He didn't know if he was going to see his mother again anymore.
Nije znao da li će ponovo vidjeti svoju majku.
Now, secondly, he was anxious, anxiety.
Druga stvar, bio je anksiozan.
So first, grief, he was very sad.
Znači, na prvom mjestu je tuga, bio je tužan.
Secondly, he was very anxious.
Druga stvar, bio je uplašen, nije znao šta ga čeka.
Anxious, fearful because of the dangers in the trip.
Anksioznost dolazi zbog opasnosti koje ga čekuju na putu.
We read in verse 10, Jacob left Beersheba and set out for Haran.
I vidimo u 10. stihu Jakov napušta Berševu i kreće prema Haranu.
Full stop.
I tu imamo tačku.
But do you know that this trip meant 700 kilometers more or less?
Da li znate da ovaj put je nekih 600-700 kilometara dug?
Walking,
I trebao je da pešači.
day by night,
Danju noću.
exposed to all the dangers,
Izložen raznim opasnostima.
the beasts in the night,
Noću razne zveri.
the thieves in the day.
Preko dana razni razbojnici.
Thieves are not a modern invention.
A razbojnici nisu izum modernog doba.
Thieves have existed always. Remember the parable of the Samaritan, the good Samaritan.
I kada govorimo o razbojnicima, oni su bili tu od uvek i to možemo vidjeti u Isusovoj priči o dobrom Samarićaninu.
And Jacob was not used to defending himself.
A Jakov nije navikao da se brani.
He was not a hunter.
On nije bio lovac.
Anxiety also about his future.
On je bio anksiozan i u vezi svoje budućnosti.
Okay, I'm escaping my home to save my life.
Bežim od svoje kuće da bi sačuvao svoj život.
And I am going to my uncle's home.
I odlazim kod svoga ujaka.
And I will knock at the door.
Pokucat ću na vrata.
And he will ask me, who are you?
I on će me upitati, ko si ti?
What's your name?
Kako se zoveš?
And
I
I'll have to say,
morat ću da mu kažem,
my name is,
ja sam
I am a liar.
lažov,
I am a deceiver.
ja sam prevarant,
I am the one who has misbehaved twice in his life, acting as a traitor.
i ja sam onaj koji se 2 puta u svom životu ponašao kao izdajnik.
This is not a very good presentation card to go into a house.
I to nije baš najbolji način da se predstavimo kada ulazimo u nečiji dom.
Remember that for the Hebrews, the name meant a lot.
I zapamtimo to da je za Jevreje ime mnogo značilo.
How will my uncle react?
Kako će moj ujak da reaguje na ovo?
Will he accept me?
Da li će da me prihvati?
Or he will say, I don't want liars in my house.
Ili će da kaže, ja ne želim u svojoj kući lažove?
Well, actually, his uncle was not a perfect model either, as we saw later on.
A kasnije možemo da vidimo da ni njegov ujak nije bio baš neki savršen primer.
Perhaps Jethro thought,
tako da je možda Jetro mislio,
that's an English proverb, birds of the same feather fly together.
Izreka, iver ne pada daleko od klade.
So Jethro accepted.
Tako da ga Jetro ga je prihvatio.
And a new stage in his life started.
I nova faza u Jakovljevom životu je počela.
But that night in Bethel, Jacob didn't know this.
Ali Jakov te noći u Betelu ovo nije znao.
So all his future and his physical life were in danger.
Njegova budućnost i njegov fizički život u tom trenutku su bili u opasnosti.
I do not know if I will be alive tomorrow.
Ne znam da li ću doživjeti sutra.
I have lost everything.
Sve sam izgubio.
I don't know if I will be alive tomorrow.
Ne znam da li ću sutra biti živ.
My future looks very gloomy.
I moja budućnost je veoma
sad,
mračna.
dark. The third feature we see in Jacob's mind that night
treću stvar koju možemo vidjeti kod Jakova te večeri je
is loneliness.
Njegova usamljenost.
He was terribly alone and felt lonely.
Bio je veoma usamljen i tako se osjećao.
Have you ever been in the countryside for a whole night alone?
Da li ste nekad bili negde na nekoj poljani celu noć sami?
I don't think so.
Ne bih rekao.
How would you feel about spending about 40 nights and 40 days alone, walking and walking?
Kako bi se osjećali da morate 40 dana i 40 noći sami konstantno da hodate?
And the baggage is nothing?
A u prtljagu nema ničega.
And the company is no one.
A društvo koje vodite sa sobom je niko.
In our days, we would call it a limit situation.
U današnje vreme to bi nazvali ograničena situacija.
Jacob was emotionally that night in a limit situation.
Jakov je emotivno te večeri bio u ograničenoj situaciji.
I have ruined my life.
Uništio sam svoj život.
I have spoiled my life because of my mistakes.
Zbog svojih grešaka sam svoj život uništio.
And now, what?
I šta sad?
Very sad.
Veoma tužan,
Anxiety
anksiozan
and loneliness.
i usamljen.
Does that sound familiar to you?
Da li vam to zvuči poznato?
Also, a very sad night, an evening in the New Testament, when a man felt exactly the same feelings.
Imamo i događaj u Novom Zavetu gde jedan čovjek prolazi kroz ista osjećanja.
But multiplied by many, many times.
Ali sve ovo umnoženo mnogo puta.
My soul is sad, very sad.
Moja duša je tužna.
Am I anguished till death?
I
I have deep anguish until death. Anguish, anxiety. Anxiety.
I uplašen sam do smrti.
Jesus in Gethsemane.
I to je bila Isusova molitva u Getsemanskom vrtu.
This experience of Jacob in Bethel that night is an echo.
Ovo iskustvo koje je Jakov imao u Betelu te večeri je eho,
Or perhaps we should say an anticipation
ili očekivanje,
of the suffering Jesus experienced in Gethsemane.
Očekivanje patnje koje Isus iskusio u Getsemani.
Now, we all, each one of us, sometime in our life will have an experience like Bethel.
Svako od nas će u svom životu imati iskustvo kao što Jakov ima u Betelu.
We all have a Bethel experience in our life.
Svi imamo iskustvo Betela u životu.
Perhaps not that intense, that limit,
Možda ne tako napeto,
but there are moments in life when we feel very sad.
ali postoje trenuci u životu kada se osjećamo tužni.
Meaningful losses,
Izgubili smo bitne stvari
and or uncertainty about our life and the future.
ili nesigurnost svog budućeg života.
And worst of all, you feel lonely.
I najgore od svega, osjećaš se usamljeno.
When the three of them go together,
Kada se ove tri stvari spoje,
that is probably the most dreadful experience in our life.
to je verovatno najgore iskustvo koje imam u svom životu.
This is the first part of the sermon,
Ovo je prvi deo propovedi,
although the second part will be much shorter, don't worry.
ali ne brinite, drugi deo će biti kraći.
You remember the title by now?
Da li se sećate naslova?
A broken man
Slomljen čovjek,
from a broken family.
slomljene porodice.
And what follows?
I šta sledi? A meeting with God.
Encounters God. So now
Susreće se
let's
sa
see
Bogom.
what happens next.
Da vidimo šta se sljedeće događa.
We have focused our attention so far on Jacob.
Za sada smo fokusirali našu pažnju na Jakova.
And the question is, what does God do in moments of suffering? What does God do in the Bethel experiences?
I pitanje koje postavljamo je šta Bog radi u trenutku patnje ili šta Bog radi kada prolazimo iskustvo Betela.
Where is God in our Bethel experiences?
Gde je Bog u mom iskustvu Betela?
So let's see how God acts and what God does.
Pogledajmo kako Bog reaguje i šta radi.
Because here we find a formidable, a superb summary of the gospel.
Jer u ovim stihovima možemo vidjeti predivnu sumarizaciju evanđelja.
This passage in the Old Testament is an anticipation of the gospel.
Ovaj odeljak Starog Zaveta je iščekivanje evanđelja.
This story is profoundly evangelistic.
I ova priča ima evanđelski karakter.
I usually use it when I have to give an evangelistic talk.
I kada treba da imam evangelizacijsku propoved, uglavnom koristim ovaj tekst.
What does God do to rescue a broken person?
Šta Bog radi da bi spasio slomljenu osobu?
Three things.
3 stvari.
First of all, God takes the initiative.
Prva stvar je da Bog preuzima inicijativu.
That night, it was God who took the initiative to seek Jacob.
Te noći je Bog preuzeo inicijativu da potraži Jakova.
This is a constant feature in the relationship between God and human beings.
I ovo se stalno ponavlja u odnosu između Boga i čoveka.
Do you remember after the fall in the paradise?
Prisjetimo se pada u raju.
The very first question God asks Adam and Eve.
Prvo pitanje koje Bog postavlja Adamu i Evi.
Do you remember that question?
Da li se sećamo tog pitanja?
Where are you?
Gde si?
Where? Why are you hiding?
Zašto se kriješ?
God takes the initiative to encounter human beings.
Bog preuzima inicijativu da se susretne sa čovekom.
This is exactly the opposite of what many atheists and non-Christians believe.
I to je potpuno suprotno od onoga što mnogi ateisti i oni koji ne veruju u Boga veruju.
Freud was absolutely wrong.
Freud je bio potpuno pogrešan.
The natural tendency of human beings is not seeking God, creating God.
Božja težnja nije da traže i da stvaraju sebi Boga.
Our natural tendency is to escape from God, to hide from God.
Naša prirodna težnja je da bežimo i da se sakrivamo od Boga.
Freud said, you believe in God because you need a father.
Freud je rekao, veruješ u Boga jer ti je potreban otac.
And you create a father, a supreme father, which is your God.
I onda stvoriš suverenog oca koji je tvoj Bog.
We don't see that in the Bible at all, anywhere.
I to ne možemo vidjeti nigde u Bibliji.
We see exactly the opposite reaction.
Vidimo potpuno suprotnu reakciju.
From the very beginning to the end, man escaping from God.
Od početka do kraja čovjek uvijek beži od Boga.
And this is repeated today.
I to se ponavlja i danas.
We don't need God, we want to be free.
Mi ne želimo Boga, mi želimo da budemo slobodni.
And God takes the initiative to seek us, to encounter us.
I Bog preuzima inicijativu da nas traži i da se susretne sa nama.
Each human being, you and me, every person in the world,
Sa svakim čovekom, sa svakom osobom na svetu.
has at least one day, one opportunity in their life
Svaka osoba na ovom svetu ima barem jednu priliku u svom životu.
when God speaks to us personally.
Kada nam Bog lično govori.
Where are you?
Gde si ti?
The Bible calls this, I don't know if this is an expression, you have the day of the visitation, the day when God visits us.
Biblija ovo naziva dan posete ili dan kada nas Bog pohodi, dan pohođenja.
It may be in the bed of a hospital.
Možda je to u bolničkom krevetu.
It may be when you are experiencing the grief of a broken relationship, divorce, for example.
Možda je to kada prolazimo kroz patnju razvoda ili tako nečega.
Because God speaks specially through suffering.
Jer Bog posebno govori kroz patnju.
As C.S. Lewis said, God speaks loudly like a megaphone through suffering.
Kao što je C.S. Lewis rekao, Bog govori veoma glasno kao kroz megafon kada govori kroz patnju.
God seeks Jacob that night.
Bog je te večeri tražio Jakova.
And he speaks to Jacob.
I on mu se i obraća.
But notice this is the first feature of Christianity, the gospel.
I obratite pažnju da je ovo prva stavka evanđelja.
That makes it totally different from religions in general.
I to hrišćanstvo razdvaja od svih ostalih religija.
A religion is the effort that man makes to find God.
Religija je trud koji čovjek uloži da bi pronašao Boga.
A religion goes from downwards upwards.
I religija ide od dole prema gore.
Christianity is exactly the opposite.
Hrišćanstvo je potpuno suprotno.
Is the effort God makes to reach man.
To je trud koji Bog čini da bi se susreo sa čovekom.
Christianity goes from upwards downwards.
Hrišćanstvo ide od gore prema dole.
It's the opposite, exactly the opposite direction.
I to je skroz suprotan smer.
Do you get this point?
Da li nam je ovo jasno?
So when your neighbor or the taxi driver or whoever it is tells you all religions are the same.
I ako vam komšija, taksista, kogod kaže sve su religije iste.
You interrupt and say, sorry, wait a minute.
Vi ga prekinite i recite, sačekaj malo.
This is not true.
To nije istina.
And then you can explain that point.
I onda mu ovo možete
It's a
objasniti.
matter of directions.
To je stvar putanje ili smera.
Christianity goes from up downwards.
Hrišćanstvo ide od gore prema dole.
Religions go from down upwards.
A religija ide od dole prema gore.
And here in Bethel we see it.
I u Betelu to možemo vidjeti.
Now, secondly, we see that God is a personal God.
Druga stvar koju vidimo je da je Bog ličan. ličan Bog.
Could you please read verse 15? Verse 15 is the crown of this passage.
I 15. stih je kruna ovog odeljka, gde kaže: ja sam s tobom, čuvat ću te kud god budeš išao i vratit ću te u ovu zemlju. Neću te ostaviti dok ne ispunim to što sam ti obećao.
God speaks to Jacob according to his deepest needs.
Bog govori Jakovu prema njegovim najvećim potrebama.
All that Jacob needed to hear, God tells him.
Sve ono što je Jakovu bilo potrebno da čuje, Bog mu upravo to govori.
For example, loneliness,
Na primjer, usamljenost
the antidote against loneliness.
i lek za usamljenost.
I am with you.
Ja-
I am with you.
Ja sam s tobom.
Against anxiety and the fear of death during the trip.
Protiv anksioznosti i straha od smrti na ovom putu,
I will watch over you.
čuvat ću te ili gledat ću moje oči će biti na tebi.
And you remember the first emotional feature? The losses, the grief.
I sećate se prve stvari sa kojim se Jakov borio su gubici, tuga.
I will bring you back to this land.
Vratit ću te u ovu zemlju.
That's a perfect psychologist.
I ovo je savršen psiholog.
Exactly the deepest needs Jacob had
Najdublje potrebe koje je imao Jakov
are met in three short, wonderful statements.
ispunjene su Bog je ispunio kroz ove 3 predivne izjave.
Jacob, are you lonely tonight?
Jakove, da li si večeras usamljen?
I am with you.
Ja sam s tobom.
I am.
Ja jesam.
Don't forget this.
Ne zaboravi to.
We will come back to that later
I
on.
vratit ćemo se ovome.
I am with you.
Ja sam s tobom.
Against anxiety and fear,
Protiv anksioznosti i straha,
I will watch over you. I will take care of you.
ja čuvat ću te.
Against bereavement, I will bring you back to this land again.
A protiv tuge kaže: vratit ću te u ovu zemlju.
God is a personal God.
Bog je lični Bog.
And this is the second feature of Christianity,
I to je druga
the second characteristic.
karakteristika hrišćanstva.
We mentioned this point yesterday in the meeting in
I
Novi Sad.
ovo smo juče u Novom Sadu također spomenjali.
Christianity is the only religion
Hrišćanstvo je jedina religija
where we have a God that is all powerful on one side,
gdje imamo Boga koji je sa jedne strane svemoćan,
the creator of the universe,
stvoritelj univerzuma,
the Almighty,
Bog svemoćni,
and a personal, intimate Father,
a sa druge strane je to lični otac,
a God who draws near us,
Bog koji želi da nam dođe blizu,
that we can call Abba, my dad.
koga možemo zvati Aba, tata.
You do not find this in Buddhism.
Ovo ne možemo pronaći u budizmu.
You do not find it in any Eastern religion.
Ne, ovoga nema ni u jednoj istočnoj religiji.
You do not find it in Islam.
Ovoga nema u islamu.
Christianity is the only religion where the omnipotent God draws near to you.
I hrišćanstvo je jedina religija gdje se svemoćni Bog, gdje dolazi nama blizu.
God came down to Jacob that night in Bethel.
Bog je sišao te večeri do Jakova.
God came down to earth another night in Bethlehem.
Bog je isto tako u Betlehemu još jednom sišao na zemlju.
The Christmas night.
Te večeri kada je rođen Hrist.
God draws near.
Bog nam se približava.
God coming to us
Bog dolazi do nas
and speaking to us.
i govori nam.
Finally, and we're coming to the end.
Treća stvar.
We have seen first that God takes the initiative. He seeks Jacob.
Vidjeli smo da Bog preuzima inicijativu i traži Jakova.
We have seen, secondly, that God talks to him in a very personal, intimate way.
I vidimo drugu stvar, da mu Bog govori na veoma lični i direktan način.
Finally, God is a God of grace. Grace.
I vidimo treća stvar, da je Bog milosti.
If you and me had been God, how would have you treated Jacob?
Da si ti ili ja Bog, kako bi se ponašao prema Jakovu?
What is the natural reaction for a father when the teenage son behaves in such a nasty, immature way?
Kakvo je ponašanje oca prema tinejdžeru kada se ponaša na ovako neprikladan i nezreo način?
The logical and natural word is punishment.
Logična i prirodno bi došlo kazna.
We would punish that guy.
Kaznili bismo takvog tinejdžera.
Certainly discipline has a place in Christian life.
I naravno u hrišćanskom životu disciplina ima svoje mesto. Ali
when you are broken,
kada smo slomljeni,
coming from a broken family,
kada dolazimo iz slomljene porodice,
and it's very dark in your soul,
i kada nam je tamno u duši,
you don't need punishment or discipline first of all.
Nama tada na prvom mestu nije potrebna disciplina ili kazna.
In your Bethel experience, what you need is grace.
U svom iskustvu Betela, ono što ti je potrebno je milost.
Because God is slow in anger.
Jer je Bog spor na gnev.
And great in mercy.
A velikodušan u milosti.
God is not a God of wrath. Anger. God is not a God of wrath or anger.
Bog nije Bog besa ili ljutnje.
God is a God full of love and mercy.
Bog je Bog predivan ljubavi i milosti.
So God did not pay Jacob according to what he deserved.
Bog nije dao Jakovu prema onome što on zaslužuje.
And this is grace, the essence of grace.
I to je suština milosti.
Let's think for a moment with the friends of Job in the Old Testament.
Razmislimo na trenutak na Jovove prijatelje.
The theology of the friends of Job,
teologija koju su njegovi prijatelji imali,
is what we call a natural theology.
Mi takvu teologiju nazivamo prirodnom teologijom.
But totally wrong in Christian context.
Ali u hrišćanskom kontekstu je takva teologija skroz pogrešna.
Are you sick?
Da li si bolestan?
Are you suffering?
Da li patiš?
Okay, that's a good time to consider what you have done wrong.
To je dobro vreme da razmisliš šta si uradio loše.
Reflect on your sins.
Razmišljaj o svojim gresima.
Like a father or a mother tell the little kid, go to the dark room and think what you have done wrong.
To je kao da mama ili tata kaže detetu, idi sad u sobu i razmisli šta si uradio loše.
And once you find out what you have done wrong, then I will forgive you.
I kada dođeš do toga šta si uradio loše, onda ću ja da ti oprostim.
This is natural theology, but this is not the Christian message.
To je prirodna teologija, ali to nije hrišćanska poruka.
God says,
Bog kaže,
come to me.
Dođite k meni.
I receive you.
Ja ću vas prihvatiti.
With open hands, open arms.
Otvorenih, raširenih ruku.
The only thing you need is
jedino što trebaš da uradiš,
willingness to come to God.
Ili jedino što ti treba je spremnost, želja doći Bogu.
And here we come to that key sentence.
I ovdje dolazimo do te ključne rečenice.
When Jacob awoke from the sleep, he thought, surely the Lord is in this place.
I kada se Jakov probudi, on kaže, zaista je Gospod na ovom mestu.
And I was not aware.
A ja to nisam znao.
This is the miracle of conversion.
I ovo je čudo obraćenja.
Opening your eyes to spiritual realities.
Otvaranje očiju za duhovnu realnost.
Opening your eyes to the fact that God is with you. God is present.
Otvoriti oči da vidimo da je Bog sa nama i da je Bog tu prisutan.
That God cares for you.
Da Bog brine za nas.
That God protects you.
Da te Bog čuva, štiti.
Certainly there is a lot of suffering in this world.
I to je rezultat patnje u ovom svetu.
But we should not view life only chapter by chapter.
Ne treba da gledamo na svoj život poglavlje po poglavlje.
But the whole book.
Nego treba da ga gledamo kao kompletnu knjigu.
And the end of the book is clear.
I kraj knjige je jasan.
Those who love God, for those who love God,
za one koji vole Boga,
all things work for good.
Sve stvari rade za dobro.
What does that mean?
Šta to znači?
Security?
Sigurnost?
Not necessarily.
Ne mora da bude tako.
What about Stephen, the first martyr?
A šta je recimo sa Stefanom, prvim mučenikom?
The most outstanding deacon in the Christian church.
On je bio jedan od prvih najuglednijih đakona prve crkve.
The powerful man anointed with the Holy Spirit.
Moćan čovjek pomazan Svetim Duhom.
So needed for the church.
I crkvi toliko potreban.
So brilliant.
Briljantan.
And so young.
I tako mlad.
And he was the first martyr.
I bio je prvi mučenik.
I don't see anywhere in the book of Acts the apostles asking why.
I ne vidim nigde u celoj knjizi dela apostolskih da apostoli pitaju zašto.
They wept, and they wept a lot.
Oni su plakali i to mnogo.
It's a very impressive passage. When they buried Stephen, they wept a lot.
I zanimljiv je odeljak da kada ga sahranjuju da plaču.
But they were fully aware that
ali bili su svesni
this life here is only a short passage.
Ovaj život ovde je samo kratak i prolazan.
And there is a future which is a glorious future.
I dolazi budućnost koja je veličanstvena.
And one day we will be able to experience the realities of this future.
I jednog dana ćemo moći da iskusimo realnost te budućnosti.
God is a God of grace.
Bog je Bog milosti.
And he treats us with grace and care and compassion.
I on se prema nama ophodi sa tom milošću i sa brigom i sa osjećanjem.
It is my wish and my prayer
I moja je želja i molitva
that as you experience Bethel moments in your life,
da dok prolazite kroz Betel iskustvo u svom životu,
at the same time you may come to know that God seeks you, wants to find you.
U isto vreme da ste svesni toga da vas Bog traži, da želi da vas pronađe.
That God speaks to you in a personal way according to your needs.
Da vam Bog govori na lični način prema vašim potrebama.
And that God treats you with compassion and grace.
I da se Bog ophodi prema vama sa milošću i sa osjećanjem.
That was Jacob's experience.
To je bilo i Jakovovo iskustvo.
And it can be also our experience.
I to također može biti naše iskustvo.
Because we have the same God.
Jer imamo istog Boga.
I suggest we have a quiet song perhaps, and then we have a time for questions.
Imat ćemo sada jednu zajedničku pesmu i nakon toga imat ćemo jedno vreme za pitanje i odgovore.
Not to make it so abrupt, I think it's good to have a quiet song.
Okay. Uradit ćemo tako. Zajednička pesma.